Hello, my name is Willie Tom Moore III, and this is my Week 1 Life Sketch. I am a student at National University. I am in the Social and Emotional Learning 635 Leadership in SEL and Context class. My professor is Jesse Alfonso Yamamoto, and this is July 9th, 2023. The purpose of this life sketch is to present elements of my life from the lens of leadership, and in particular Marine Corps leadership, as well as school leadership. There are many elements to my leadership journey, and it started when I was born in Munich, Germany, aboard a U.S. Army installation. My biological father was a master sergeant in the United States Army, and my stepfather was a major in the United States Air Force. So it is safe to say that I have been around military-style leadership all of my life. As a Marine of 30 years, I have come to learn many of life's lessons through the strict scope of Marine Corps leadership as well. The Marine Corps has 14 leadership traits and 11 leadership principles. I've always navigated much of my personal life with these traits and principles in mind. The acronym used to identify the 14 Marine Corps leadership traits are JJ did tie buckle, and they stand for justice, judgment, dependability, integrity, decisiveness, tact, initiative, enthusiasm, bearing, unselfishness, courage, knowledge, loyalty, and endurance. The United States Marine Corps 14 leadership traits are equally as important, but I choose to focus a little bit on one in particular, and that one is integrity. Integrity is doing the right thing even when nobody else is watching. I pride myself on having integrity, and I'm always trying to improve my integrity, especially when it comes to the relationship that I have with the students. When it comes to lessons learned and principles to abide by, I typically focus on the United States Marine Corps' 11 leadership principles. We're going to go through principles 1 through 3, and after I read them, we're going to also associate them with leadership from the school's perspective. So number 1 is to be technically and tactically proficient. What this basically means is you have to know your job. As an educator, it is imperative that you know what you're doing, how you're doing it, when you're doing it, and what needs to be taught. Number 2, know yourself and seek self-improvement. This aligns with the SEL core competencies of self-awareness. You absolutely need to know yourself and seek self-improvement at all times. Number 3, know your Marines and look out for their welfare. Well, obviously, we're not talking about Marines here, we're talking about students. So it is imperative that you know your students and look out for their welfare as well. This also aligns with social and emotional learning. Number 4, keep your Marines informed. Keep your students informed. The more your students know about what's going on, the better they're going to be able to perform academically and behaviorally. Number 5, set the example. You always want to set the example for others to emulate, whether it be your students, your peers, and in some cases, even your superiors. Number 6, ensure that a task is understood, supervised, and accomplished. This goes to your lesson plans. Make sure that the kids know what their learning objectives are. Make sure that you supervise them in the effort to accomplish their learning objectives, and also make sure that you follow up with them. Number 7, train your Marines as a team. Train your students as a team. Periodically, it's important for you to get them into small groups so they learn how to interact and problem solve within their small groups, therefore reflecting teamwork. Number 8, make sound and timely decisions. Decision making is very important. It's also one of our core competencies in social and emotional learning. It is very important that you as a teacher make sound and timely decisions for the benefit of the students and obviously for the benefit of yourself. Number 9, develop a sense of responsibility in your subordinates. Develop a sense of responsibility in your students. For me, in an NJROTC program, it is very important that we develop a sense of responsibility and leadership within our cadets. Number 10, seek responsibility and take responsibility for your actions. If you paid attention to the last slide, you would notice that it was mentioned to develop a sense of responsibility. Here, it's actually focusing on taking responsibility for your actions. Number 11, employ your unit in accordance with its capabilities. The same thing can be said about your classroom. Employ your classroom in accordance with its capabilities. Never give them too much that they can't accomplish the mission. Understand that they have, in some cases, 5, 6 classes in addition to your class. So make sure that you employ your class in accordance with their capabilities. As a naval science instructor, I'm very fortunate to have my son in my program. Here you see pictures of us when he was 11 years old, and then to the right is him at 16. And as you can see, he's taller than me. I'm 5'10", he's 5'11" and a half, but mainly closer to 6 foot tall. Here are more pictures that are associated with my life. To the left there is my mother and my father, Willie Tom Ward Jr., who was also born on the exact same day as me, October 5th. He was born in 1938. And then the next picture is me and my son's mother at our military ball on active duty. And then to the right of that is my son actually going through basic leadership training with his completion certificate. And to the far right is one of my stellar performers, Rafael Alvarez, who is in his senior year at the Naval Academy. He was in the top 1% of our school and in the top 5% of all folks that are going in that direction in the United States. As a high school JROTC instructor, credentialed teacher, and leader, I'm fortunate to have every grade in my classes. I teach naval science to all of my freshmen and drill and ceremonies to all grades 9 through 12. In December of 2017, we, as a class, had to experience loss, trauma, and grief firsthand. Cecilia Trujillo was our company God-on bearer, and she was tragically taken from us by someone who was under the influence and was hit while walking home with friends. Unfortunately, my older brother passed away 2 months after that as well from pancreatic cancer. It was a difficult time for me and a difficult time for us all, and we all shed tears, but we also know that they are in better places and would want us to go forward in celebration of their lives and not stay in a state of grief. Here are the two references that I used for this presentation. Thank you for your time.